The ebony way.
People talk to people.
And people understand.
People talk to people.
And people understand.
All for one.
One for all.
All for one.
One for all.
Make sure if you don't know it yet, you will soon know it. That is our own. That is the way we introduce ourselves. That's how we know ourselves. You are welcome, everybody. In Ebony, time is our friend. We do not waste time. We befriend time. Because any serious individual in life must always make time his friend. Whether you perfect the time or not, time will do what? Time will continue to pass by. So what you are supposed to do at 9 o'clock, if you don't do it, 10 o'clock will meet you there. So that's why in every world we do not like to offend time. We like to make time our friend so that time can do us right and do us well. So that at the end of the period of our life, we can look back and be happy that we are able to achieve. And God will make it so for us.
Amen.
You are all welcome to this glorious, okay? This is our monthly program. We call it Gathering of Champions. Because in every world, we are champions.
Yes.
We make our lives to be dominated by our desires. What we want, how we want. That's why it's told for us. And that's what champion. A champion is somebody who always wins. Have you? If you see the television today, what do you call that?
She's a champion.
When they want to play that song, what do they play? Stand up, stand up for the champion. For the champion, stand up. And they only play it for people who have won in their life. So that's why we are all winners and champions. So we have come today. For our normal champions program, where the champions gather. And when champions gather, great things happen. So today's theme is how to sell. We are here to learn. We are here to learn how to sell. Because in life, we are always buying. This morning you wake up, you went into your bathroom, you carry your face and you brush your teeth. Do you not buy that toothpaste? You bought it. If you are going to eat, you buy the food. So why can you not also be a seller? Because when you buy, you spend money. So when you sell, you make money. So this month we have decided to talk to our people and teach them how to be able to make sales in their everyday living. So not just spending money, but also being able to make money. And that's why you are all welcome this morning to this special, auspicious August occasion of our gathering of champions. I bid you welcome, and I pray that all that we are ready to impart into you, you are also ready to absorb. You are welcome, sir. You are welcome, ma'am. Every Lord is here to teach you, to make you a champion in your life. God will help us.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now we are going to have our mentor's message by our leader, our mentor, Pastor Andy Osagie.
Ebony World.
Transforming lives for life.
Ebony World.
Transforming lives for life.
137.
The Ebony Way.
137.
The Ebony Way.
One for all.
All for one.
One for all.
All for one.
People talk to people.
And people understand.
People talk to people.
And people understand.
Okay, it's like our PA is not wanting to cooperate. But nevertheless, our work will go on. We anticipated that other speakers will be here this morning, but they are not here now. But we've got to take off and do what we've got to do. This morning, we want to talk about selling. Selling, as far as I now know, is the greatest skill, greatest art that anybody can acquire and display. If you do not sell, the truth is you are wasting away. Because like she said, whether you like it or not, you will spend time. If you don't make good use of that time, time will leave you behind. Time will control you. It will be better if you position yourself as the controller of time rather than being controlled by time. So we are looking at selling in the 21st century. Selling in the 21st century. What is selling? What is selling? Selling is the exchange of goods and services that is value for a reward. It is the exchange of goods and services for a reward, and that reward can be cash or kind. Selling is persuading someone of the merits of something or idea. Selling is to persuade someone about the merits of something or the merit of an idea. Selling is any transaction in which money is exchanged for goods or services. Selling is any transaction or contract in which money is exchanged for goods or services. During a sales negotiation, because we now call it a contract, we negotiate contract. During a sales negotiation, the seller attempts to convince or sell the buyer on the benefits of their offer. And other words we can use to describe selling include dealing in. We deal in some commodity, some services, or marketing, or merchandising. How does selling work? How does it work? If you are selling a product or service, you need to focus your selling efforts on communicating the benefits to the buyer. Communication. That's so important. So when we are looking at setting up a business, and we are looking at the BI triangle, following on cash flow is what? Communication. Communication is so fundamental. You can't sell if you cannot communicate. That is why we say here, people talk to people and people understand. It is not the language you are using that matters, other than you ensure you are communicating, and there's a connection between understanding between the seller and the buyer. And then people buy solutions or items they believe will make their lives better or happier or fulfill a specific need. People don't just buy commodities, they buy solutions to their own challenges or their problems, or perceived solution. And for example, if you are selling long-term care insurance, the potential buyer should understand the high cost of long-term care and the benefits of not having to worry about paying for those costs. The buyer needs to understand how the product or service will satisfy a need or improve their lives. Do we understand that? So it's so important that you must sell from the perspective of the buyer. You must sell from the perspective of the customer. You must sell to him how he buys until you can change his culture, or you can change his perception, until you can influence him and persuade him to have a change of values. There are different types of selling, and I think we are looking at about 4 or 5 today in our discourse. We just touch on them and move on. Number 1 is transaction selling. That's what we were looking at yesterday. We were looking at this vis-a-vis relationship selling yesterday. Number 1 is transaction selling. That is the traditional mode of selling. That is how selling originated. We exchange goods and services without thinking of future relationship. You have what I want, I give you what you want, and you give me what I want. That is transaction. In fact, I believe that probably all selling will start from that level. Even if you are introducing, even if you are persuading, you are still offering something, like the gentleman who came in this morning. We don't have a relationship here, that's the truth. For now, it's a transaction. So how that transaction works out will determine the kind of relationship we build in the future. There can be no relationship without, first of all, a transaction, and the impressions that are created in the course of that transaction. Transaction selling works well with simple commodity products. I'm selling fish, I'm selling a tomato, I'm selling a lantern, I'm selling candles, I'm selling matches. Since the product is generally available from multiple sources and is indistinguishable from competitive products, the sale is made on price and availability. I want to buy tomatoes. I go to the market. I'm moving from seller to seller. What am I looking for?
Price.
The best bargain. Yes, I'm looking for value for my money. The best bargain. If you like, when you say customer, customer, customer actually ends up cheating you. And the day you know he cheats you, end of.
Yes.
Then number 2 is relationship selling. But relationship selling is actually consultative selling. When you say relationship selling, you are becoming a consultant to your customer, to your client, where you begin to provide advice that are sometimes cannot be monetized. So relationship selling usually involves simple or moderately complex products, especially a product of service of value like Ebony World, multiple leverage machine, which is not visible. I can't see it, So that one, you actually need to develop a relationship to push it. Often, the deals involve larger unit volumes or greater revenue. In a relationship selling model, the salesperson develops professional relationships with buyers as their target customers. You are a consultant to your buyer, and therefore, if you are to succeed and prosper and do very well in Ebony World, you've got to step up your game to become a consultant to your prospects. It's not enough to just go to them and say, I have Ebony World. You come in. When you bring 3 people, you do this. When you bring 2 people, you do this. That is just the technicality of our operations. Nobody is really interested in that. The question is, how does all this benefit me? Why? Why should I want to get myself involved? Then often the deal involves larger unit volumes or greater revenue. And in a relationship selling model, the salesperson develops professional relationships with buyers as their target customers. And relationships are typically based on familiarity, likability, and ultimate trust. Do I like your person? Sometimes you buy things because you just like a person anyway. You may not even understand fully the value, right? You buy and you like people, you like a person because you trust the person. If I don't trust you, end of story. So you must make yourself likable, you must make yourself friendly, And you must make yourself. Somebody came to me and said, he expected I would have done this for him. And I asked him, do you even know my house? Do you know my wife? Do you know my children? Do you even know me? So why should I? Even if I was in a position to do it. Do you understand? So that is building relationship. So you get to go beyond the superficial interaction. Then we also have what we call solution selling. Solution selling. Here, solution selling, as the name implies, solves a customer's business problem. You cannot solve a problem you have not diagnosed. You must be able to diagnose the problem accurately. A problem properly diagnosed is already half solved. It often involves creating a complex solution that incorporates products, it incorporates services, and it incorporates technology, all working together. The product, the service, or the value you are giving, and you leverage technology. The focus of solution selling is on business needs. What are the business needs of your client? And this classically is a community of entrepreneurs or business people. Therefore, when you are talking to someone, you are marketing someone, you must be focused on their business needs. If nobody is asking to take them to go and consult a pastor or prophet or marriage counseling or what have you, you understand? They have come for business. Let's talk business. That's why we are gathered together. So we must have something that solves business needs for people. The buyer's decision criteria are therefore based on value, no sentiments. And don't try to play on people's sentiments either. If you do that, you can only do it for a time. After a while, it phases away. Usually, in solution selling, the salesperson has developed intimate knowledge and understanding of the customer's environment, of the customer's industry, and of the customer's business. You cannot consult, you cannot solve a problem accurately without knowing all the causative factors of that problem. When you have identified it, it becomes easy for you to provide tailor-made solutions. So it must be individual. And that is why Ebony also has various packages, so that what works for one may not work for another. What is convenient for one may not be convenient for another. Okay? So you need to identify each person and provide a solution that meets their personal needs. Then number 4 is partnership or collaborative selling. This is a very exotic form of selling, where you become part and parcel of the supply chain of your customer, where you produce specifically to his specification, if you know what I mean, to his specification. In partnership selling arrangement, the seller becomes an important part of the customer's team. You are logged in, you know. It's like sometimes you find some big corporations, they will have a desk in their office for a consultant who comes in, and he sits there permanently for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years as part of the contract, and is contributing to the value chain of the customer. The salesperson is selling a complex solution that is integral to a customer's success. He is part of the strategy, but it's not a staff. But yet, they need his input to succeed. An example of a sales partnership may be the sale of General Electric jet engines to Boeing. The success of both General Electric aircraft engines and Boeing depends on the engines fitting on and working perfectly with the Boeing airframe. Do you understand that? Yes. The design of Boeing is different from design of Airbus or DC when the DC was there. So when you are producing engines for them, you must be involved in the technical details of their own design program. How your engine will lift the body. When there is no body, what's the weight? Everything. So you are part and parcel of the calculation. Yet you are not a member of their staffing. So this type of sale relies on a long-term valued partnership between both parties. Often, partnership sales take years to develop. Take years to develop. Then the last type of selling we are looking at is high pressure sales. High pressure sales. These are usually carried out by what I call hard hitter salesmen. Hard hitters. These are professional salespeople who can persuade you to buy what you don't need. And then at the end of the day, you now develop what we call a buyer's remorse. You are wondering why you bought what you bought. Sales professionals are often told buyers are liars, and that to get the sale, they need to push hard and not to take a no for an answer. Most buyers nowadays do not want to be pressured. High pressure sales usually fail or lead to a buyer that regrets their purchase. Or you have never bought something and you took it and you are wondering why you bought it. You have never? Oh, I have. I have, especially when we travel. When we travel on holidays. It will come up with a lot of junk. You spent hard-earned money and now you are wondering why you bought them. There are so many things that I bought that are just useless in the house. They wasted away. In fact, there was a time I traveled, that guy really got me. He was an Italian in London. He was speaking Yoruba.
That was the first thing that I used to
He was speaking Yoruba fluently. He was telling me about Disneyland. I'm telling you, he was speaking fluently. Telling me about Ibadan, telling me about Abeokuta. I was carried away. He saw so many things to me. I must have spent nothing less than £800 on that guy. I bought jackets, I bought a camera, I bought things I didn't even need. Yes, not because he hit home with me. The approach you should use depends on your personality. Who are you? If you use a system, a type that is not compatible with you, it will be obvious that you are fake. It must something that is in sync with your personality, and then your industry, and then your customer. He played on my fickleness because I'm a Nigerian. That's the truth. It's only Nigerians that spend like that without thinking. That was also when I was in Money Miss Road. You had easy money. You travel, the money you are spending is that you didn't even suffer for it really. It was easy money. So you spend it, you come back, you make more money. So as a salesperson, you'll be more comfortable with some selling styles than others. And you'll probably be more successful with sales as a result. Find what works for you. Okay? We cannot tell you this is the best approach to selling. But of course, what we are saying, I hope you are getting my gist. Are we together? Ebony was?
Transforming lives for life.
Ebony was? Transforming lives for life. So, if I'm not communicating, let me know. So I don't just keep on talking to the air. Now, there are some requirements for selling. We've told you the types of selling. There are some requirements, things that are required for you to make a sale. And we've got to step up our game. When we started Ebony World, we thought Ebony World was for everybody. Probably the masses, But we've gotten there and discovered that the majority are not ready for the Ebony opportunity. So what we are now looking at is getting people who are leaders, community leaders, who can get on board and begin to reorientate people at those local levels. So there are some requirements that are required in selling. Number one is the ability to build long-term relationships with customers one at a time. Long-term relationships with customers, one person at what? A time. Most good salespeople think long-term about how they can leverage the current sale into more business in the future from the same customers or with that customer referrals. And that's what we're doing. Currently people are selling based on referrals, but it's not that people are not making money from referrals. And that's all we are trying to now do, to monetize your social capital, where you refer people and you get rewarded for referring people. It's awesome. Not only get rewarded, your children also get rewarded for the referral that you made years ago. Imagine if somebody was still paying you for the referral that your father and your great grandfathers made long ago. You will stress less. You will stress less. So that is what Ebony is doing. Then number 2 is the ability to listen to the customer. More often than not, we are not even going out to listen. We are just going out to go and talk. You don't be talking, but because you want to make a sale. You are desperate to make a sale. You don't want to go because I don't know. Here, there's so much desperation, because the truth is, nobody is looking out for you. It's unlike other places where government looks out for its people. There's social, net that ensure people don't really fall below and out of circulation. But here, nobody really cares. So everybody is desperate to sell one on another. Yes. So too many salespeople spend their time attempting to talk to the prospective customers into buying without finding out what the customer actually wants. They tell you how beautiful this thing is. You can do this, can do that. There's nothing you cannot do. All because I just want you to buy. I don't know whether that thing is really suits you, whether it's what you need. And that also takes us even to what we do here too. I've just said it. When we started, we thought everybody wants ebony. Everybody may need it, but not everybody wants it. Because when you want it, there's something that you must also give in order to get it. We need is different from we want. If you want, you must pay a price for whatever you want. We thought everybody would want ebony, but the truth is, as we go into the market, not everybody really wants it. Okay? Customers buy solutions or things that make them feel good. You can't do that if you don't know what the customer needs or wants. You can't do it. No matter how good what you have is. Is that what he wants? Then number 3, requirements for selling. You must have tenacity. You must have tenacity. You must have the capacity to go on in spite of disappointments. A good salesperson knows that it may take several attempts to make a sale and never gives up on a potential customer. Instead, they have a follow-up system to stay in touch with prospects. Somewhere down the line, an email or a phone call reminder might close the deal. Even consistent interactions. If you are serious and you know what you are doing, you know that this customer really, there's a need that this thing will solve in that customer's life. You can market the same person for 3 years. I've done it several times. And they've turned out to me our very best people. Sometimes the most difficult to market may actually be your best prospect. They are difficult to market because they are savvy. They know what they want. Then, number 4 is self-motivation. One of the things that we describe, a lot of people think that somebody must motivate them. Why should I motivate you? The word motivation comes from what? Your motive. Your motive. What's your motive? I cannot design your motive for you. I don't know what is motivating you. You're welcome, man. I don't know why you came here this morning. You have a motive why you came. There's a reason you left other things to come. But that is known to you. I am also here talking this morning. You see me talking, but I have also my own motive. And it's also known to me. Likewise, everybody. So motivation comes from inside. I didn't motivate you to come. You are the one that motivated yourself to come. No matter what anybody tells you, they can't force you to come here. So there's a motive, and that's your motivation. So, successful people have a high level of initiative. They constantly look for new opportunities and view setbacks as learning experiences. They hold themselves accountable. They hold themselves accountable for their performance and don't blame others or current economic conditions for lack of success. That's one of the things we are trying to push to our people. Never blame somebody else for your results or for your lack of results. If it is to be, it's up to you. If it is not to be, it's also up to you. Never blame. Never blame. Don't blame the blame game. Say those who blame are lame. Only the lame blame. Then self-promotion. Self-promotion is a requirement. You must promote yourself. You are the first commodity they will buy before they buy whatever you are offering them. If I don't like what I see, I won't buy from you. I won't even give you a listening ear. That's the truth. Imagine somebody coughing now, coming to sell you cough medicine. As he's talking, he's coughing.
You wonder why he didn't
And even, no, you won't even listen to it. That's even the truth. You don't get it. Somebody is coughing. He's trying to sell you cough medicine, and then he's coughing endlessly. You will try to just shove him. You say, "I don't come on, it doesn't infect you." Even if you buy, you throw it away. If you have to, maybe you know him, that's why you want to buy from me. You give him the money, take the product. As soon as it goes away, you dump it somewhere. So, investing where you must promote yourself. You know, this might include handing out business cards and other promotional materials, flyers, brochures, free talks, you know, developing and using an email list or creating a website and or using social media posting. Selling 21st century, I don't know how you're going to do it without social media. There's no sales strategy you are going to have if you don't incorporate social media. Sorry, you are cutting off yourself from the real market. That's the truth. And some other people will be talking to us more about that. Then, finally, investing in the community where you are selling. It is usually called CSR or corporate social responsibility. Giving back to the community you work in by donating to charities, sponsoring community groups, and engaging in volunteer activities is not only good for the soul, but it's also good for business. Investing where you work increases the likelihood that customers will return the favor when they need your products or your services. And so why is selling so important? That's where we started from anyway. Why is selling so important? Why is selling so important? Selling converts latent demand into effective demand, which leads to economic activity in the society, leading to more jobs, more income, more products and services. This cycle leads to economic progress of the society. Without selling, the society dies. Without selling, even as a pastor, we are selling the gospel. Everybody is selling something. The doctor is selling the healthcare. The lawyer is selling his legal, expertise for your defense in the courts. The engineer is selling his expertise. Everybody is selling something. Without those sales, society will collapse. Characteristics of modern sales professionals. Characteristics of modern sales professionals. You must be good at social selling. And by the way, that's who we are. We are social entrepreneurs. We are social entrepreneurs. We convert your social capital into your financial capital. And you must develop good emotional intelligence. Good emotional intelligence. You must be good at analyzing data. You must be good at analyzing data. You must have a higher sense of adaptability. You must not be fixated. You must be adaptable. Then you must be a relationship builder. Build bridges between yourself and people. You must be able to process development, and you must be a great listener. You must be a great listener. Then there's what we call information assisted selling. That's the vogue now. Information assisted selling. The offer of information will differentiate you from others. In the greeting, never say things like I can't, I won't, or not until. Offering information provokes a yes, establishes a common ground, and puts you in control and moves the sales process forward. We are in the information age and a time of transparency. You must offer to give in order to get. You must offer to give in order to get. 5 selling techniques you must master. We have talked about types of selling, but there are also techniques. Irrespective of the type you use, there are techniques, and you must master these 5. Though the other ones we said, those ones that are whichever is suitable for you, that's what you use. But here you must master these techniques. Active listening. You must be able to listen actively. Active listening. Then number 2, warm calls. Be able to manage calls and create relationships from your calls. Turning cold calls into warm calls. Then you must be able to communicate the features and benefits of your products or service. You must master them. Here there's no choice here, you just must master them. Then you must address needs with solutions. You must, it doesn't matter what technique you adopt, you must address needs with solutions. And then number 5, social selling. You must be sociable. Social selling. Social selling. I've touched upon information assisted selling. For the sake of our time, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Information, you must be able to provide information, education, educate them, enlighten them about your opportunity. Then these are the 7 C's of digital marketing. 7 C's of digital marketing. Because this is the digital age, by the way. Like I said before, in this 21st century, if you are not digital, I'm sorry, you are shortchanging yourself. Customer. Customer is the focus of your selling activities. Customer. The next is the content. You must provide content. You must provide content. That's also what you call information or education. Provide content or even entertainment. Then context. What is the context? You must get the context right of your marketing. Context. Then the community, the convenience, the cohesion, and then finally conversion. Customers play a key role in the success of your company, and making them the center of your marketing efforts is the number 1 requisite for the 7 C's model marketing to work. Seven things to also know about marketing in the 21st century. 7 things you must also know about marketing in the 21st century. By the way, this applies to everything you are doing. Both whether you are selling the ebony opportunity or you are making your own sales in your own business. Design. There are 3 D's. Design. Design the right propositions for the right customers. Design. You must design the right proposition for the right customers. Under design, you also have focus on the entire customer experience. Focus. You must focus on the entire customer experience. From pre-buying, buying, and then after sales support. After sales support. Then the other D is deliver. How do you deliver? You have design, and how do you deliver? Deliver those propositions at the lowest possible system cost by focusing the entire company on them from boardroom to front line. From boardroom to front line. And then, number 4, treat every customer interaction as a precious resource. Every customer interaction must be a learning experience. You must take something away from every interaction with the customer. Then, under deliver still, we have create cross-functional teams involving employees from marketing to supply chain management. Cross-functional teams where you interact with people that are outside of your normal team in order to better serve your customer. Okay? And then develop. Under develop, we have two. Number one is develop the capabilities to do it again and again, not just once. You must dazzle the customer. You must dazzle the customer. And then lastly, ask customer a simple question. How likely is it that you will recommend us to a friend or colleague? How likely is it that you recommend us to a friend or colleague? That's referral, isn't it? If you delivered well, getting referral should be the easiest thing. Now, I'm going to close with a very small case study. This is hilarious, but it's also very, very striking. A woman decided to give herself a big treat on her 70th birthday by staying overnight in a very posh hotel. When she checked out the next morning, the desk clerk handed her a bill for $250. She demanded to know why the charge was so high. I agree it's a nice hotel, but the rooms aren't worth $250 for just an overnight stay. I didn't even have breakfast. The clerk told her that $250 is the standard rate and breakfast had been included had she wanted it. Right? She insisted on speaking to the manager. The manager appeared and for one by the desk clerk announced, this hotel has an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a world-class gym, and a huge conference center which are available for use. But I didn't use them, she replied. I didn't use them. Well, they are here, and you could have. He went on to explain that she could also have seen one of the in-hotel shows for which they were so famous. We have the best entertainers from all over the world performing here. But I didn't go to any of those shows. Well, we have them, and you could have. Are we together? No matter what the amenity manager mentioned, she replied, but I didn't use it. And the manager countered with his standard response, you could have. After several minutes of back and forth, and with the manager still unmoved, she decided to pay and wrote a check and gave it to him. The manager was surprised when he looked at the check. But madam, this check is only for $50. $50. That's correct. I charged you $200 for sleeping with me last night. But I didn't.
But you could have.
Well, too bad. I was here alone all night. You could have. Thank you very much. End of presentation.